On May 12, 2026, Charles III was presented with two conflicting files. The official Scotland Yard report declared the Windsor perimeter secure. A separate internal audit revealed that the security net existed only on paper. Under Operation Morpheus, investigators seized 200 mobile devices belonging to the King's protection detail. Biometric logs showed officers checking into their stations, but internal sensors recorded them leaving seconds later. The protection he relied on was a choreographed deception. The pattern repeats a failure from July 1982. When Michael Fagan entered the Queen's bedroom, he did so because officers had suppressed reports of faulty alarms to maintain a facade of competence. Then, as now, the institution's greatest risk was not the intruder, but an internal culture of convenience. In April 2026, a civilian drone spent 12 minutes over the long walk without being challenged. This sleep gap shifted the King's focus from the technology to the men behind it. He viewed the omission of this event from his daily briefing as a personal betrayal of his safety. How does a monarch rule when the reports meant to protect him are designed to mislead? A second investigation is now tracking the paperwork back to the source. The palace is currently identifying which officials certified the perimeter as secure while the censors remained silent. On July 9, 1982, a night shift sergeant walked off his post at exactly 6 a.m. Michael Fagan reached the Queen's bedside because the guards had manually disabled the alarm sensors to stop them from ringing during the shift change. In March 2026, this culture of managed silence reappeared in a single briefing document delivered to the King. The Metropolitan Police reported an isolated incident involving 2 officers. However, internal encrypted logs, now seized under Operation Morpheus, confirm that senior commanders were already monitoring a network of 25 men. This discrepancy emerged 3 days after the Baroness Casey review recommended stripping the unit of its independent funding. On February 18, 2026, the focus shifted to the gates of Royal Lodge. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested for misconduct in public office, a charge linked to the transmission of sensitive trade documents. While the Met demonstrated technical precision in tracking the sleep cycles of its guards, the investigation into the Duke's long-standing connections to the Epstein network had previously stalled for a decade. The second inquiry is now focused on the metadata of the King's final security briefing. It has identified the specific workstation and the exact timestamp when the number 25 was edited down to 2. The name on that digital signature belongs to the official responsible for the King's daily protection. 12 officers have surrendered their warrant cards. 18 others remain on restricted duty, prohibited from carrying firearms or entering any royal residence. The head of royalty and specialist protection remains in his office, his resignation drafted but not yet signed, pending an audit of his communications from May 12th. Internal honesty tests from late 2025, which first highlighted the risk of phantom shifts, are now being cross-referenced with the overtime claims paid out over 18 months. The £150 million security budget is currently the subject of a Cabinet Office audit. The proposal on the Prime Minister's desk involves removing the Metropolitan Police from Windsor and Sandringham entirely, replacing them with a force of military personnel and private contractors. This shift would terminate a century of police jurisdiction over the King's person. On May 25th, Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley will appear before the Home Affairs Select Committee. He has been ordered to provide the unredacted logs from the night a civilian drone spent 12 minutes over the long walk without detection. The palace has formally requested an investigation into whether the Met's Professional Standards Department knowingly concealed these security gaps. The committee awaits the names of the officials who signed off on the perimeter's integrity while the censors remained cold. Can the king ever trust the police again? Or should the monarchy raise its own private army? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more.